Welcome to Delaware Sports and American Sports Reports from the home studio in Middletown, Delaware. I'm Marshal Manlove, and this is a special interview edition of our show. We will meet one of the Delaware High School State cross-country champions and his head coach here shortly. But before we get there, oh man, I'm just hoping this is going to work. I'm having some streaming issues here. Still having some issues with the software. This is brought to you by me, Marshal Manlove, stage hypnotist. If you would like a funny, fascinating, and memorable experience for a party or an event that you're having, please consider my stage hypnosis show, details about which you can find at marshalmanlove.com. Now, I have just finally got this to work. My guests have appeared on screen. My website didn't, but they did, and that's why we're here anyway, to talk about them. And on the left of your screen is the Cape Henlopen Vikings head cross-country coach, Matt Lindell, and the Division I state boys cross-country champion, Jason Baker. Gentlemen, let's turn on your microphones there, and let's see if they are working properly here. Go ahead, somebody.
Good evening.
There we go. All right.
Hello.
All right. Thanks for making time to come visit the show. I appreciate that. I know you have a lot of other things that you could be doing in your life, so I definitely appreciate the time. I am going to start with a brief story, and it will explain to you why I have great appreciation for people who participate in this sport. In 1997, I was watching, and for my television show, I was doing a segment on the cross-country state championships. They're at White Clay Creek State Park, and the Division II race for the boys was taking place, and the winner at the time was a kid from Archmere. And coming down the final stretch were two runners for second and third place. And the young man who was in third place made a spectacular kick to overtake the second place runner, come in second place. And as he was crossing the finish line, he threw up all over himself. And I thought to myself at the time, I was much younger and much more naive at the time, I said, why would somebody run themselves to such physical pain just to get into second place, which sometimes, like if you're a cynic, second place is the first loser, right? So, but it turned out that this young man, his name is Morgan Scoville from St. Andrews, was the state champion the next 2 years. So as someone who works with athletes now to try to enhance their performance, as a hypnotherapist, I took a great interest at that time into the workings of the athlete's mind. So keep that in mind when I ask some of these questions, because it was very inspirational. It made me look at sports in a whole different light at the time. Coach, can you talk to that experience? You've seen runners put everything that they have out there many, many times. You see it at every finish line at a state championship or a conference championship, or even just regular races too. So talk about some experiences like that you can relate, so that I can relate a little further.
We have, as I said, I talk to my athletes all the time about having a positive mindset. Because a part of, if you have the physical ability, it's also the mental ability to be able to push through, because your body is always, that's why we train all the time, because the body is always wanting to quit first, but it's the mind that keeps pushing that body that extra little bit, where, you push to that threshold where you end up throwing up at the end of a race, because you're trying to pass that person that you've been running against, for almost 3 miles, and you don't want to lose that last tenth of a mile or something like that. And as I said, we really focus on the mental side of it, because the same mental toughness you need to run a 5K and to run it well, it's the same mental toughness you're going to need to push through a lot of things that go on in everyday life. And some of those things you don't even realize they're going to occur until they happen, and you've got to figure out how to deal with it. And I think this is a great sport to kind of build that mental toughness as well.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And as somebody who hires people and have hired plenty of people over the years, anytime I find out somebody who is a distance runner or a wrestler, I give extra weight to that because they're both in. While of course they're team competitions, right? At the same time, it's just an individual sport, and that where you're in the spotlight, and you just have to do different things to be successful there. And Jason, talk about that. Now, I know that your brother Ryan was a runner there at Cape, but this wasn't your first sport. Is that correct?
Yeah, I played soccer before I ran.
So, why then did you change sports? Was it because of your brother?
He was definitely like a large reason for it because I saw him doing it, so he was good at it, and it kind of like inspired me to want to do it. But also, like I would play soccer and in the summer and stuff. I would train with my dad and brother, like mostly my dad because my brother was too fast. But I would train with my dad, and we would like run together every other day, and just to, like get in shape. And then I like just started like liking it more and more, and I decided to do indoor track freshman year. And from there, I kind of just I knew what I wanted, and I never looked back.
Yeah, kudos to you, man. I'll tell you because it's not, you were a goalie, you just stand there pretty much. You don't have to expend a whole lot of energy. And you went from that to this, which I just give you all sorts of credit. So you were the first individual state champion at Cape Henlopen, actually from Cape Henlopen since 1992, but the first since Cape became a Division I school. So talk about the race day. Was it Killens Pond State Park? Had you had just run there the previous week, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was at the Henlopen Conference Championships, which you also won. What did you pick up, if anything, from your race at the conference championships that you were able to take into the state championships?
Yeah, states was our fourth time at Killens Pond. We ran there at our season opener and also at the Joe and Neil Invitational. So I know the course very well at this point, and I know where like sharp turns are, how to take the tangents and the curves, and also like where the hills are and how I need to push up them.
So how did the hills at Killens Pond compare to the ones at Brandywine Creek State Park, where you were third last year? I know there's a big hill there. What do they call that hill? I forget.
Maintenance.
Maintenance Hill. So, and your time, so you ran actually over a minute faster in this. And of course, courses have different standards and all. But talk about the comparison between those two courses.
Yeah, I mean the hills at Killens like they pale in comparison to the house at Brandywine because it feels like you're going up and down the whole time at Brandywine. But like Killens, like it's every little bit you got like a hill, but they're usually not like crazy hills, and they're mostly like long and gradual.
So if Killens Pond, Brandywine, which one did you like better though?
I definitely like Killens more. I feel like it's more like a fair course, and I'm also not a big fan of hills because we don't have many around here. So I don't get to, like down south, so I don't get to train on them much. So it's definitely better for me to run on flatter courses.
So how did you mentally prepare for the state championships this year?
Well, I started off like kind of freaking out because it was really stressful because like trying to figure out like who was running, and we were also like taking into account like how the team could do, and we knew that we could compete for it. So we really were just trying to like get our heads around the idea that we had a shot, and I was trying to keep my cool and not freak out because I knew I wanted to take a shot at winning it.
So the team almost pulled it off too, just 3 points behind Salesianum. So that's a real good showing for the Vikings there. The coach, you did win a championship with them a few years ago with the Vikings there back in what was that 2020?
Yes.
Yeah, not easy to do because if you take a look at the team champion list in Boys Division One over the years, it's just dotted with Salesianum. So, kudos to you. That means you're a good coach.
I appreciate it, but there's a lot of great kids behind the coaching.
So, Jason, how old are you? What grade are you in?
I'm 16. I'm a junior.
So you're going to stick with it, this running thing?
Yeah, I plan to.
Now that you've won the state championship and you have a medal that honors that particular achievement, what did you do with the medal?
Well, I brought it home, and whenever I get medals, I'm proud of them. So I like to wear them around for the rest of the day, just 'cause I think it's fun and funny. And then after I'm done wearing them, I have a medal rack in my room, and I like to hang my medals and display them there.
So you're racking up lots of medals there.
Yeah, yeah, I'm working on it, trying to fill out mine like my brother's is.
So I understand now that you have the second fastest time at the school and second only to your brother. Is that correct?
Yeah,
However, you have something that he doesn't have currently, right? That's the number one medal, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Did you call him up and show like on a Zoom or something? Is he home or away? Did you show it to him?
He's away, but he was there for the race, so he
Okay.
saw it, watched it happen.
All right, awesome. Was he running along the course with you by any chance? Like shouting out encouragement?
No, no, he wasn't. I can't hear anybody when I run. It's mostly just like Lindell and my dad.
So I'd like to ask this question. I don't know why, but it just kind of interests me because I have seen, because I was inspired to run back in the day. Well, jog really is really what it was. So I would do 5Ks for to get the T-shirt and all that. And I would see people talk to each other along the way, right? I could barely breathe, and I would come in, close to last every single time. And yet, I see people sprinting by me, right? Talking, having conversations. Do you ever talk to anybody while you're during the middle of a race?
I used to, but then like my dad and teammates and coaches would be like, "You'll run fast if you don't talk." So I kind of stopped talking, and it worked. So I don't talk when I race.
It didn't work for me. I didn't talk, and I couldn't go any faster. I don't know how they did it. I remember I actually did a half marathon. It's not about me. I just want to tell this story though. And it was like at the 11 mile mark, and some guy ran up by me. Goes, "I'm surprised you made it this far." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" That was so rude. That was so rude. But I couldn't say anything because I couldn't say anything back because I couldn't talk while I ran. All right. So, what other? I should have gotten this information before, but you obviously ran spring track, right? And indoor track. Did you take at home any first place medals or anything like that?
No first place medals. I got second in the 2 mile at D1 Outdoor States, and then I got a third at Meet of Champs in the 2 mile.
Oh, and that Division 1 winner at the time is really good too. Ethan Walter. Yeah, I don't know where he went, by the way. That's another question though. So you have to spend some time getting ready, and you said you were freaking out a little bit, but how did you manage to pull yourself together? Obviously, when the race starts, I would think a lot of that just kind of goes out the window, but what kind of things did you try to do to try to calm yourself down?
Yeah, I mean, I broke down the race and why I run to its basics. I run because I like it. So I plan to my plan was just to go out there and just have fun with the race because it's what I like to do. And I was also really worried about like the competition and like who I was going to be racing and what they were going to do. And I decided that I was just going to go out there and race, and whoever wanted to race me, I was going to give them everything I had to try and win.
You had a pretty comfortable margin there too, 14 seconds. Yeah, that's pretty comfortable. 15:54 was your winning time, and second place was Brandon Williams from the Charter School Wilmington, 16:07, and then your teammate Andrew Rodka in fourth place there. Congratulations to him too. So, Coach, tell me something about Jason here, and what you think he has that helps him succeed and become the champion that he just became this past weekend.
Well, I think he kind of said it as well. I mean, he enjoys the sport. You got to have a passion for the sport because I mean, if you don't, a lot of people treat when it starts becoming like a job, then that's all it is. It's a job. But Jason comes in with energy. He's not only does he have the individual mindset to succeed, but he wants to see the team succeed as well. A natural leader. I mean, he single-handedly got a lot of the guys together to run over the summer, and a lot of I've coached a lot of kids, and you don't have. I've had some in the past, but you don't have a lot of those kids that come along very often that have that leadership ability, from day one, and Jason has that, and he's as I said, one of the other gifts is that he helps those around him as well. He's willing to work. He works with them, goes out and runs with them, pulls kids in to run in the group, and it's so he sees the bigger picture. It's there's the individual success, but being a part of something that's bigger than yourself is also an important part to him, and that's not too many teenagers get that at that age.
True. He's also gifted with a great head of hair.
I'm not an expert in that area.
So talk about nutrition a little bit here and whether or not it plays a big role. Jason, on your end and coach, how involved do you get with that aspect of it?
Well, I mean, from the coaching perspective, I mean, I'm not a nutritionist, but I mean, we stress the fact that you got to we talk about doing the little things. I mean, we can as coaches we can train you and get you ready to go, but you need to do the little things like going to sleep at a good time, making sure you are eating healthy, like and staying hydrated and those types of things. And on race day, don't change it up. Do whatever you do for your race prep, and if it works for you, then stick with it. And what works for one person may not work for another, but you figure that out as as you get ready on race day and things like that as well. So basically we just stress the fact that basically use common sense. Rest, recover, and do those little things on your own, because that's going to help support the training and the mileage that our kids are putting in.
So Jason, what is your nutritional plan there? Let's do it like on during regular season, and then maybe the night before or morning of a big race.
So like a lot of the time, I'm big on staying hydrated. I like to have drinks on me all the time. Like to almost always have something to drink. And I also try and get like a good amount of sleep because I know that's important. But I'm not huge on like diet stuff. Like I kind of eat mostly whatever I want most of the time. But like the nights before races, like I try to do this almost every race. I eat like just chicken and noodles, just to get like carbs and protein and stuff because I know that helps. And then I try to stay off like some sweets and stuff, like not eat ice cream and stuff like that, especially during the postseason because I think it's probably just better for me. And I just try and eat healthy like during the postseason. But otherwise, I just eat whatever I want most of the time.
Well, how many miles a week do you run?
I'm not sure actually.
Okay.
I'm guessing just over 40, but that might be a better question for Lindell.
It depends on I mean, when we get to, it depends when we get into the season a little bit, it lessens a little bit because we have dual meets and midweek races. But I would say preseason wise, I mean, between warm up and everything else, I mean, sometimes we'll close in on 50.
Wow. So that's an average of 7 a day. That's a lot. Wow.
But when you include warm up and cool down,
sure.
Those are those sneaky miles that help add to that total.
Absolutely, every step counts. So then, Jason, after you win there, and we just talked about food, did you have anything special to eat to celebrate?
I just went out to dinner with my family, and we just like hung out and just ate. We went to a restaurant in downtown Lewis and just ate seafood.
All right. So, Jason, tell me about your coach and something that what he means to you as a person, and how do you think he's helped you succeed along the way here?
Oh, Lindell's great. Like I think he's probably the best coach I've ever had. I've gone through a lot of coaches with soccer and other things, and Lindell, just the way that he works with the team, I've seen him like work with some people before, and he never gives up on anybody. Like throughout the years I've been like watching the program from my brother was there to now I'm here. He works with everybody. He cares about anybody from the fastest guy to the guy coming in last, and he really helps build a good team atmosphere, like getting everybody to care. And he always gives like good workouts that we all just listen to him because we trust, respect, and he's been doing it for a very long time. So we know he knows what he's doing, and we know that he knows that. So we just listen to him and do what he tells us to, and it's great.
That's a great testimony there. Wow. From a young man, that was well said. That was well said. I'm very impressed by that there. And
I appreciate those words.
yeah, right. I mean, that's fantastic. And it's recorded too, right? Can't take. We just recorded that for you. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, at this level, at the high school level, coaching means much more probably than at any other level, for sure. I mean, you have people who have developed some abilities, and now you're going to help them make that transition from a boy at this point to a young man, right? So there's a lot that goes into that, and those who have long-term success like you have had there, or teams that have had long-term success, definitely have great leaders at the helm, and the fact that he just was able to speak that way about you is definitely a testimony to your leadership abilities there, for sure. So
Yeah, but I mean, on just to add to that, I wouldn't, I wouldn't be half the coach. I mean, I wouldn't be half the coach I am without the kids that I've coached over the years. I mean, the kids that, they show up and work hard every day, and as I said, I tell my kids every day, since I've been in education, I've never worked a minute after 3 o'clock, because coaching isn't a job. It's just something I enjoy it. And being out there with the kids that want to get better and improve and are motivated, gives me energy at the end of the day. And as I said, it's fun. It's not I'm getting paid to have fun, so that and I enjoy it. So that's something that that's something that I've enjoyed for a long time in education.
that's very modest, but that is one of those statements right there are statements which helped you become a great leader there, for sure. So fill in any blanks for me here. Anything I'm missing? Was there any questions in your head like, I wish he would ask me this one or that, or anything like that? Fill in any of those blanks for me. Coach, start with you.
Put me on the spot.
Sure.
No, I think I as I said, the team atmosphere, and I remember I could probably share this. I remember actually I met Jason when he was like in 6th or 7th grade during the COVID year when we won a state title, and that's one thing that Jason's brother does have over Jason. Jason might have the individual state title, but Ryan has a team. He was a part of that 2020 state title team.
Fair. Yep.
But at one of those meets, I saw this like 6th grader or maybe 7th grade. I can't remember. And I was like, okay, oh, Ryan's definitely a runner, but it's a lesson in never judging a book by its cover. And I was like, oh, Ryan's brother doesn't look quite like a runner. So, and all of a sudden now, kind of looking back on it, I was joking on the bus about that, coming back from the conference or statement. I can't remember which one. But to see the runner he's become, if you went back and looked at 6th grade, you'd have been like, nah, there's no way. But that's what hard work and determination does. And as I said, it's a good lesson, never judging a book by its cover.
100%. Jason, anything you want to add? Say hello to some of your teammates or anything like that? Whatever you want to do.
Well, I just wanted to like point out a little bit like my relationship with my brother and stuff, because like I said earlier that I briefly said that he like inspired me to run and stuff, but like he's been a major help in all my running. Like I've called him before some races like states. He's one of the main things that helped me calm down and get my head right before the race. And like he's always, and like some people they're like, oh yeah, how does he feel that you're doing all this and stuff, and trying to break his records and all that, and like he just like he supports me, and it's great. Like I'm really happy to have him because he's not like it's not like he doesn't want me to like do anything. Like he wants me to go all the way, do everything I can, and like honestly, like he would be happy to see me like be like I think he wouldn't be happy to watch his records go down, but I think he would also be proud of me if I did it because he's a great brother like that.
Well, if he'd be proud to have anyone break it, it would be you. That would be for sure, I would imagine, right? Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, it was very nice to meet you. Congratulations on your state championship there, Jason. And Coach, nice to meet you virtually as it was. And perhaps sometime in the future we will have a conversation. And I guess, Coach, do you coach the indoor track team also?
I'm the head boys indoor track coach, and
Okay.
then I stepped back a couple years ago. I'm the assistant track coach in the spring, but I pretty much coach the distance runners all year long.
Okay. So you're just kind of transitioning right into that now, huh?
And recruiting 400-meter runners into 800-meter runners.
800. I don't know why anyone would do the 800. That was horrible. You got to. That's horrible. I actually tried that in high school too. Oh no, just wasn't for me. I have mad respect for you, Jason, and anybody who runs any length of distance at all. whoever runs competitively and then likes to do it. I am in awe for sure. All right, gentlemen, again, nice to meet you. Wave goodbye to our growing fan base here at the show. I'm going to hit end meeting for all. Best of luck to you in the upcoming winter track season and in all that you do. Happy holidays as well. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was Jason Baker, the state Division I boys cross-country champion, and his head coach, Matt Lindell from Cape Henlopen High School. If you would like to arrange a conversation here with an athlete, a group of athletes, reach out to me at mysportsreports@gmail.com. Hopefully the ticker will come up here. There it is. Submit any items of interest to us at that same email address, mysportsreports@gmail.com. It's National Letter of Intent Signing Day. If you would like to have us help you celebrate that, send a picture and all the pertinent information to us at that same email address. And now we're going to play the trombones for the second time. The first time we play it, show opens. Second time we play it, show closes. I'm Marshal Manlove. Got to start from the beginning. There we go. Now we can leave. I need to pay someone to push the buttons here.